Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to the exciting installment of Shadow of the Iron Throne. This evening's scene takes place in the manse of Lord Gallo. It is on the lawn, as a matter of fact, near to the gates, where Lord Gallo is currently practicing his archery. You see him standing there. He has a very exquisite longbow that appears to be made of dragon bone. There's a thunk. There's a kind of there's a thudding noise with each time the arrow hits home. Shunk, thunk, shunk, thunk. He tends to get them all in a very neat little pairing next to or in the central point. He seems satisfied as he will turn to take some refreshment from a servant who will offer him iced water before he will say to Mr. Julius, "Another unusual bunch, the Daceps. I'm sure you'll agree."
Unusual is one word for it. Bloody incompetent is the other.
As you say. So, I wonder how long it will be before they're able to, or rather, until a little secret comes out.
Literally depends how long it takes the other maesters that were in that tent to get drunk.
How much do you think they saw, realistically?
Maesters are rather more clever than you give most of my colleagues credit for.
No, it's more to the fact that I listen to what you have to say about most of your colleagues.
A fair point.
Ah, Lord GoT-One. Good to see you this morning, sir.
Good to see you as well, Lord Gallo. I see you're practicing for the archery.
Indeed. For the record, there is one thing of odd interest. So basically, they're standing under an awning that has been set up on the grass, in which there are chairs, and it's been made comfortable. There's also, Lord GoT-One's favorite, ice milk with honey, because he is secretly a gigantic child. Tell no one. However, there is one thing of very interesting note there. There is a large box in which you can see very plainly a Valyrian steel axe. Because I apparently have been paid, so.
Well, I suppose your house were the executioners. An axe would make sense.
If you want to roll me a status check, you can. I think no. If you want to, do you have knowledge?
I do have knowledge, but I don't have any bonus dice on it.
Okay, roll me a knowledge check. It'll be difficulty 9.
I'm actually capable of failing this. But not today.
Woo.
Not today, Book Satan.
Not today, Book Satan. The gallows' ancestral weapon is not an axe. It is a sword. You also notice that Lord Gallo doesn't carry it around with him. So why is there an axe?
Interesting.
Might he make another roll in order to determine which house was known to carry an axe?
I'll let you do so. This one's going to be difficulty 13. 12, difficulty 12, because it's actually a lot more esoteric piece of information.
I assume I know where it came from.
God damn, I could have swapped those rolls around.
Unfortunately, no, you don't really know who it is. You don't need to roll, you know who it is. So there's a random Valyrian steel weapon sitting there.
So what house managed to gigantically piss off Lord Gallo?
Shunk thunk as another arrow goes into the target. He looks at Mr. Julius as he draws another arrow from the quiver, and he says, "I don't know. Was I perturbed? I don't think I was perturbed."
No. Owed, certainly, but not perturbed.
I mean, I was simply just assuming because there are not many houses I could imagine that would surrender their, well, family heirloom and, well, at least surrender it alive.
Everyone has a price, Lord Goldwyn.
Mr. Julius, he says as another arrow goes thunk into the target. Because I don't believe in lying to my house guests, inform Lord Calden as to the true medical condition of Lord Ashdacet.
You mean aside from the fact that they are in a collection of pieces?
Yes.
He looks up, looks old Coldwin dead in the eye, which might be slightly creepy, because old Maester, who usually squints at everyone, glaring eyes of evil, as he just says, "The Lord Daesip, knighted by King Robert Baratheon, first of his name, is in fact Lady Ashdacep." Evan, did people hear that?
The silence is intentional.
Thunk. Another arrow.
So not only did I strike down an injured foe, I struck down a woman.
Correct.
A woman who masqueraded as a man, got herself brutally wounded, climbed out of a window, proceeded to get herself nearly killed for a second time, and then lost their family heirloom.
Also while running pursuit of stolen.
I understand her brother was rather miffed.
I can imagine.
I mean, I was standing outside at the time, but I heard the swearing.
By the faith of the Seven, it should be his house.
I'm a little suspicious about him. The descriptions they were bandying about. Of course, I wouldn't wish to slander Knight of the Realm.
Yeah. So, now you know the little secret, Lord Goldman. It's up to you if you keep it or not.
Well, I imagine this little gift from House Daesip is to maintain that, well, you keep it particularly quiet.
Quite true. However, House Daesip didn't pay me not to tell you. Your honor is still intact if you wish to inform the individuals, at which point I will have to come forward and unfortunately state that indeed this is the case, and I only held my tongue for the king's good. After all, he did publicly knight a woman. That could prove damaging to his royal reputation. Sure.
And I was required to keep my mouth silent because my lord and the house whom I am sworn to serve had not given me leave to speak of it.
I suppose it's their lucky day that I'm not a particularly devout person. Though I do follow the faith. Never particularly held much interest in it.
Gods are gods and men are men, Lord Caldwell. The simple fact of the matter is that when the two interject, or the two intercede, well, it becomes
Indeed.
Needless to say, the Seaweed Knight shows potential. Once again, an arrow flies into his target.
I took note of that myself, actually.
It's a shame that he has such great weight around his neck. Having to keep that secret, a secret that if it were to be breathed would mean the end of their house, the end of their line. If they were lucky, he'd still be a hedge knight. If not, he'd be on the headsman's block, the king's justice standing over him. I'm led to understand that Sir Ilan Payne is excellent with the usage of his sword.
I hear the same thing. I must say I didn't hear it from him.
No.
Particularly quiet fellow.
That's because he can't talk.
I'm more than aware.
Mm-hmm.
I must confess, my lord, I've not been quite one for the headsman's block as a concept. Seems a trifle foolhardy.
I'm led to understand in the Vale you drop your criminals from very high heights.
In the Eyrie, that's particularly popular. I've met the young Lord Robin.
How long until they hit the ground?
Last I checked, about 12 seconds.
How
Depends
long for
how
his
heavy they
lordship to get bored?
I imagine the screaming doesn't stop through the entire falling process.
That's how you measure it. Wait for the screaming to stop.
That's rather grisly. Rather grisly indeed. So, you will keep House Daesop secret, Lord Cauldron.
I shall. I mean, to state my honest opinion, you effectively own House Daesop in all but name.
He walks over. He hands the bow to Maester Julius. For the record, the bow's like it's an heirloom of our family, so he hands it off. It's not that heavy.
Yep. Julius still struggles to lift it, but he manages to put it on the table.
As he takes up the axe. Now, the axe is a big affair. It's a double-handed war axe, and he hefts it and he looks at it and says, "This is stunning workmanship." But then again, I would expect nothing less from the smiths of old Valyria.
Don't come across many axes, to be fair.
No, you don't, do you? I'd like to understand the Celtigars have one.
I believe they do. I was lucky enough to be a guest of theirs for a while. Quite close to the Vale, so not too out the way.
I wonder how much Valyrian steel there is in the world.
There are 300 blades in Westeros.
I don't mean blades, my lord. I mean steel. Whether there are ingots of it left in old Valyria.
Perhaps, but then again, no one who goes to old Valyria ever returns.
Sad but true.
It was dragons.
Still there.
Yes, well, we do not talk about Bride for All. I am led to understand, however, that it was dragon fire used to create Valyrian steel. And thus, unfortunately, the process died when the Valyrian freehold fell, as none of the members of House Targaryen knew the old spells needed to enchant the metal.
What I wouldn't give for a tome of such old knowledge.
To be fair, Uncle, you would still lack the dragon necessary to actually produce the steel.
A dragon is secondary.
As you say.
After all, a creature that has been bred into existence once can be sired again, given time.
Bold statement.
The dragon may fall once, but it can rise even stronger than before. No matter how bastardized its line. And he gives a very pointed look.
So, Lord Caldwin, you are an honourable knight. I will give you that. You carried a wounded, woman from the field of honour. There is value in a man like that.
I tend to hear men like me don't last long in the capital.
And what kind of men do?
I suppose you certainly make a point.
I try to.
Of course, Lord Caldwin, House Gallo could take offence at the sentiment. After all, our liege lord, Lord Tywin, has done quite well in the capital, and he is an honourable man. And yes, that is said in a very Shakespearean, but he is an honourable man style of way.
Lord Tywin is also a very smart man.
I don't think anyone would doubt that.
Strong head for politics.
Mm.
I'm sure your fair maester has also seen that, Lord Tywin did quite a good job ruling the kingdoms back in Aerys' day.
Mm. The Mad King had his defects, but he chose his counsellors reasonably well.
You're not incorrect. Anyway, gentlemen, Lord Gallo draws the last arrow from his quiver, and he says, on the matter of House Dasip, they will either survive or fall from history. That is the way of things. He takes the bow off the table, he walks back, levels it, and he says, the weak die. He fires the arrow. It flies straight and true, as he says, and the strong survive. The arrow impacts another arrow at the center of the target and splits it clean in two. There is a smile. Now that is extraordinary.
I suppose I know who I'm putting my money on.
Indeed. Well, if that is all, gentlemen, I think that we shall. I can already hear the trumpet starting to sound. We should go to the tournament before the day is out.
One thing, my lord, looking at Lord Gallo.
Yes, Maester.
Where did you send the Dasips once they were expelled?
I didn't.
That could be a problem.
Why do you say that?
Oh, stories, you see. If they are clever, and they must be a little clever to have made it this far, they might well run to someone of influence. Say, the Master of Coin, or the Master of Whispers. Try to twist truth into something that strengthens their hand a little better.
In that case, Maester, they will require medical treatment for Lord Ash. However, they will require medical treatment for him that they will be able to from someone who knows that innermost little detail. They can't risk another person finding out. You will go and you will offer them that treatment. Make sure that they're kept complacent.
Of course, my lord. And with a bow of the head to both lords, he turns and leaves.
Come, Lord Colden, we shall head down to the tournament grounds.
Yeah, let's.
And with that, we shall end our scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene in Shadow of the Iron Throne.